We are live once again, Kathy, on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock. So what does that mean?
Kindness night. Yeah.
It's Kindness Adventure wrap up, and I'm using Leon's book. So how about you go first? You're on chapter 11, right?
So I'm on adventure number 11
Yep.
from Go Be Kind by Leon's book. That's what Sunday night's all about. And chapter 11 is about starting at zero. And I found it kind of interesting because it basically is giving us the message that we are human and we are not perfect people and that we make mistakes. And the only way that we can go out and find kindness is by setting ourselves free from any of the things that we made mistakes of. So the challenge was going back in time, whether it was this morning or 20 or 30 years ago, as to somebody that you did wrong to. And have you owned up to as to why you did that, and setting yourself free from that burden, basically. And I actually learned this skill a long time ago in grade 6. I remember it very, very vividly, and I'll share the story. It's very, very quick.
Please do.
It was grade 6, and she's now one of my best friends. And at the time, she was the square Miss Prissy, name calling, wearing all the pretty, not normal grade 6 clothing. And I had been bullied from kindergarten all the way through to grade 5. And I changed schools to get away from that peer group. I did not want to stay with that peer group anymore. So I went to an entirely different school. And we had to, you remember when you had to lie on the floor and trace your body?
Yes.
Right. And then color it. Right. Well, our teacher put them on the ceiling. Well, my best friend, all her body was hanging by her neck. Like the rest of the staples had come out of the ceiling and she was hanging by the neck. And everyone was making fun of it. And being really, really cruel about it. And I had been really cruel to her too. And I was laughing like crazy, like everybody else, like, oh, yeah. And then I saw her face in the doorway, and it was, I'll never forget her face. And it took me maybe 2 hours, maybe, in my child memory, I don't remember how long it took, but I immediately apologized. We've been best friends ever since grade 6.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was like, the reason why I was doing it was because I had been getting it for so many years, and it felt really good giving it to somebody else, right? Knowing it was wrong. And, as a teacher, I see kids acting out all the time and making wrong choices. And we quite often think, oh, they're just a bad apple. Oh, they weren't brought up right. Blah, da, 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 da. But, I've come to learn that there's always these underlying things in there that if you dig a little bit deeper and actually pay attention, me as the grown-up now, I understand that. And I have a lot of empathy for people that struggle and make the wrong choices, because there's usually reasons behind it. But I digress. The purpose of the chapter was to own up to any of those mistakes. I do this with my daughter all the time. I am not a perfect mom. Not a perfect mom. I am not a perfect
anybody.
No, I don't think so. That's why we're human, right? We're allowed to make mistakes, but how you deal with those mistakes is what matters. And by releasing that burden, you're open to receiving the kindness. And I think that's really cool. So yeah, being human, everybody be human.
Yes. Well, this week was an interesting week, and I'm going to be catching up to you now because it's been a week of me receiving kindness from so many people, Kathy. Yeah. And I often say this particular year, out of any year of me being on the planet or people being on the planet, we've had to give, to ask.
Yes.
And this past week, I thought of people that I had a kind thought on how I could help their business by connecting them to something else in pure thought. in pure, wow, if I connected this person to this particular event, it's going to benefit them, it's going to benefit here. And it's all done with a kindness and spirit. And it involves business. I'm the social media director for the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival, which is happening this, September long weekend, Labor Day weekend. And I was thinking of some businesses because I was asked to find businesses that align with our message, that were willing to be kind and donate a little bit of money, but to feed our crew, our volunteer crew that sweat and put the music stands up and clean in between and greet people. And I was I'm like, who could I find that has a kind heart, who could understand my ask? And I found Marshall Stern, who has a sign company, Donna Van Beek, who's a local notary. And she said, I'm in. Like, what does it take? Where do I send the money? It's like, both of them said, Kathy, and it was very self-affirming. Jeanette, you wouldn't ask if it wasn't good for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't ask if I knew that it wasn't good for me and in my best interest.
Right.
And as I shared with you today, I've had a little bit of a personal issue. Guys, it's been very, very, very dry here on the west coast of Canada. I live on a farm. We have a well, and our well has gone dry. And over the 14 or 15 years that the family's lived on this farm, and I've only lived here 3 years, this is only the second time that this well has gone dry. And to wake up without water, and then to put it out on social media, as well as chatting with different friends, they're like, come to my house. Can you get a bucket? Come to my house. Come take a shower at my house. So I've been on the receiving end of some beautiful kindness to make my life better this week. And so much so yesterday, Kathy, at your house, you hosted some ladies, 2 other ladies in very safety, to learn something new. And that was kindness. We fed each other. We were in community. We learned together. We shared our thoughts together. It was just it was just a kindness receiving. And now I feel so full. It's now time for me to pour back out, pour back out, pour back out, pour back out. So I thank so much for the receiving, because that's just as important as the giving of kindness is feeling woo, and accepting the kindness and receiving the kindness with a full, beautiful heart. So it's been that kind of week for me. And I'm just going, it keep going, wow. There's so many wild fireworks.
The lesson for both of us is being able to be open to receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And recognizing it and receiving it. Right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get too busy in life that we kind of, it's like, did that really happen? Oh, darn. Right.
Or question it. What's the motive? Like, why is that person being so kind to me? Like, what's the motive, instead of just pure kindness?
Yeah.
And exactly. I get goosebumps. I do.
Yeah. And that's what Leon's all about.
Yeah.
That's what he's all about, is just
pure
kindness. Yeah.
I was kind of looking through the chapters, because you're going chronological. That's the right word, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like, is that the right word? And I'm going random, kind of matching my life to an experience I want to have with the chapters that he's written. And I was looking through, and I would say adventure 7, finding a kindness buddy.
Yeah.
And I would say the kindness buddies that I have are people that held me accountable, going, Jeanette, when you ask for kindness, you're going to get kindness back.
That's right. That's right. So I challenge all of you that are watching tonight to receive kindness this week from people. Slow down a little bit and receive it, and let the bad stuff go away, and just make room. Make room. That's
pretty magical.
Yeah, just make room for it, because it is a beautiful feeling. And I tell you, that helps this world be calmer, be kinder.
And be kinder to when you started about mistakes, that word, if we take it, the 2 words, it was miss.
Yeah.
Take.
That's right.
In what you were about to learn or do or whatever. It's just a little mistake.
Yep. And we're allowed to. We're human. Yeah. We're totally allowed to. So give your permission to make the mistake, and give yourself permission to let it go.
Let it go and receive. You let it go, and then it makes room.
Exactly. I love our Sunday night chat.
Oh, I do. We're way better than that that mouse with the ears that sometimes comes on that used to come on Sunday night. I'm not sure if I want to say the word, but
Oh, don't say it.
normally, yeah, normally, Sunday nights at 7 o'clock when I was a kid, that was
Yep, me
what
too.
fueled
Yeah,
me.
it's not on anymore. Darn it. Anyway.
Yes, we're on, and that's what's good.
Absolutely.
Adventures.
So we look forward to seeing you all next week on Sunday. Thanks so much, Jeanette. Bye, everybody.